And that's what everyone's become. Little cockatoos staring at the screen.
Facts and figures, facts and figures. Dr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci.
This is Jim Brewer. A lot of people probably remember this back from, I think, December or January 2022, maybe. He was at a tour called the Reawaken America Tour. Now, the Reawaken America Tour is a full-blown QAnon extremist tour that's been going around the country, getting speakers like Eric Trump and Michael Flynn, Jim Brewer, famous people, really famous people, getting them up there to spout all kinds of anti-vax nonsense and far-right extremism and voter fraud conspiracy theories, the whole 9 yards. It is an absolutely nutty thing to watch, but it is super fascinating to listen to what some of these people say. I did a whole video about this whole Jim Brewer bit, and he actually responded to my video about him fascinatingly. There's a little bit of a back and forth between myself and Jim, but that's neither here nor there. Let me give you another example of somebody that they platformed here at the Reawaken America Tour. This guy's name is Scott McKay, goes by the Patriot Street Fighter, late March 2022 when this one came out.
You are now in this war. That's why you're here. Are you going to answer Christ's call? Are you going to be part of the ascending Christ consciousness on this planet so we bury this satanic architecture which has infiltrated every aspect of society?
Okay, that's a lot of words, and most of them meant absolutely nothing. Christ consciousness, what were some of the others he said?
On this planet so we bury this satanic architecture.
Satanic architecture, what does that even mean?
Which has infiltrated every aspect of society. The Khazarian Mafia.
What? What is he talking about? He's a full-blown QAnoner. So a lot of the stuff that he's saying right now is just QAnon dog whistles.
Mafia has been killing you. They're now killing you in hospitals. They're killing you in the streets. They launched Antifa and BLM. That's when I blew the gasket.
That's when you blew a gasket? Okay.
That's when I said, okay, no governor, no president, no state legislature is going to say it, then I'm going to say it. I'm going to come out and I'm going to rain this storm down on all these scumbags until they are dead.
That's disturbing rhetoric, obviously. That is disturbing no matter who it's coming from, whether it was from the left or the right or the anybody, it doesn't matter. Saying things like that is deeply disturbing and needs to be criticized. That is the kind of language that you find at the Reawaken America Tour. That's what it's all about. Now, it was originally created by a guy named Clay Clark, who is, trust me, just as nutty as all the rest of them. Just as far out there. But it's largely been, I don't know, maybe not taken over, but the figureheads have recently become Eric Trump and Michael Flynn. They've been heavily influencing the conference, and they've been going around to most of them, if not all of them, lately. I just wanted to get a little snapshot of what they've been talking about there. Check out what Eric Trump had to say here, late October 2022, at the Reawaken America Tour.
My father finally got a subpoena from the January 6th committee. Did anybody see this? This hoax committee, and I'm telling you, I told him a minute ago, I go, you have to go testify. You know what? Because it'll be the greatest entertainment. Who wants to pop a beer, make some popcorn, and watch Donald Trump talk about election fraud in the United States of America?
Okay, fantastic if that's what you want to do, except that's not actually what would happen. If you're watching this 5 years in the future, Donald Trump attempted a coup against the U.S. government on January 6th, attempted to hold power as the president, despite the fact that he was voted out legally and rightfully on January 6th, right? And the January 6th committee in Congress was created to determine what his wrongdoing was, or what his level of wrongdoing was, and who else was involved. And they subpoenaed Donald Trump to come in and testify recently. I think he has to testify on November 14th or something like that. This was in early November, so the testimony had not happened yet. Here's where he's making a mistake. He thinks Donald Trump is going to be given free rein to walk into the January 6th committee and sit down with cameras pointed at him and just talk for as long as he wants? He thinks that Donald Trump is going to be allowed to sit in front of the audience, the primetime audience, and just talk to them the entire time? Of course not. This poor fool has no idea how this works. Trump was subpoenaed. If he doesn't show up, he's going to be arrested for contempt of Congress and put in prison, okay? This happened to Steve Bannon. He was charged and sentenced to, I think, 6 months in jail or something like that for not cooperating. So Donald Trump will show up to testify in front of Congress. He will. And they will not air every second of it. Almost certainly not. I can't imagine them doing something that stupid. They choose what they show to the public and what they don't. So I'm pretty excited to see the testimony personally. I would love to see what Donald Trump had to say to the January 6th committee. My guess, if I just had to throw a guess out there, it would be, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth for about 5 hours. That'd be my guess, but we'll see what happens. This guy has no idea how it works. Or does he know how it works and just expects this audience not to?
And so we're going to call him quickly. Does that make sense?
You're going to call Trump. Not for nothing, but I know you probably can't make this out. I only know this because I saw it from a different shot from a different video. But in his phone, his dad's name is in his phone as Dad, parentheses, POTUS. Dude, is he going to answer or not?
So, Dad, you have an amazing crowd. I'm here in Pennsylvania.
Well, I think it's great, and I hope my wonderful son is treating everybody fantastically. He works so hard. He's such a great guy, and we love you all, and we'll be back doing things that we're going to bring this country back because our country's never been in such bad shape as it is now.
Dude, this guy just lives in a fantasy land 24/7. I mean, I'm talking Donald Trump Sr. Fantasyland, man. Aside from that, just here's an interesting little side note for you. I was doing a little bit of research. Apparently, there's a documentary crew that followed the Trumps around for the last, 4 weeks that they were in office or something like that, or the last 4 weeks Trump was in office. And they didn't ask me anything on Reddit. And somebody asked, like, what's one surprising thing about the family that, you wouldn't expect to find? And the guy's answer was, Eric Trump, this guy right here on screen, Eric Trump is scared shitless of his brother Don Jr. Why, I wonder? That's weird, right? They're both grown adults in their 40s or their 50s, aren't they? Married, children of their own. This dude is scared to death of his brother. That is weird, right? Before we continue, I just wanted to mention something. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, you can support me in a few ways. First, there's Patreon. That's probably the best way. But if you want to get something back for your support, you can check out my Teespring. Or you can check out my Telltale Unfiltered channel. I go through long-form, unhinged sermons from all kinds of people, from Hank Kunneman to Greg Locke to Jehovah's Witnesses. So give it a look. Links are in the description. Okay, now back to the video. Anyway, that wasn't the only weird thing that happened at this recent event. Again, early November 2022. Listen to what else Eric had to say.
It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable what these people are doing to this nation.
What people? Who? Who are we talking about? This is called weasel words. This is referring to some ambiguous group, some secret authority out there who's doing something that you can't really specify who it is or what it is they're doing or whatever. You find this sometimes when people are trying to turn themselves into victims. And that's exactly what this guy is doing right now. Let's hear those weasel words again.
It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable what these people are doing to this nation. The way they want to destroy Christianity, the way they want to destroy our families, the way they're destroying our children, the way they're destroying our history, the way they're rewriting our textbooks. Guys, this is a cognizant war in this country. And
A what war?
Cognizant war in the...
I'm sorry. A cognizant war?
Guys, this is a cognizant war.
Okay, am I going crazy? What does this mean exactly? Okay, cognizant. Having knowledge or being aware of, statesmen must be cognizant of the political boundaries within which they work. This is a cognizant war.
Our children, the way they're destroying our history, the way they're rewriting our textbooks. Guys, this is a cognizant war in this country, and I don't say that lightly.
I don't know what he means by cognizant war. This is a war of knowledge? This is a war they know about? I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't say that lightly. I'm not like the tinfoil hat wearing guy.
Yes, he is.
But if anybody thinks that they're not weaponizing every single one of these systems, there's only one party that's weaponizing the systems. And they're doing it for their own benefit.
Really? Only one party is weaponizing the system. And he's saying this with a straight face.
Every single time. I mean,
this is absolutely unhinged stuff, dude. They live in a different reality. They interpret things completely differently. I don't understand how they got to where they are. In Eric's case, he's probably intentionally twisting things around. I don't know if he really buys this or not, personally. I don't know about that. But the people in the audience certainly, and at least some of the speakers at this event, are completely gone. Just gone. Their heads are so wrapped up in this conspiracy, there's nothing left of their personality anymore. It's honestly sad. Michael Flynn is one of the people who I believe is doing things very intentionally and specifically knows exactly what he's doing. He is a far-right extremist who was once I think a 4-star general in the U.S. military. Like, holy shit, dude. He's extremely high up on the ladder. He was the national security advisor for a while. He knows what he's doing. You can't convince me he doesn't know exactly what he's doing. And he is a central figure at this conference, Reawaken America. This is from mid-September 2022. He's standing next to somebody named Stella Immanuel. She is a vaccine conspiracy theorist who's been repeating a lot of the same stuff that, like, Sherry Tenpenny's been repeating. She's one of the main people that's repeating all of the anti-vax nonsense, or even came up with some of it in the beginning. In fact, she was retweeted by Trump originally, a video that she was in, about hydroxychloroquine and, ivermectin and all that other garbage. So that's the caliber of person we're dealing with here. Listen to what old Michael Flynn here had to say next to Stella Immanuel.
I'm seeing all these people with, T-shirts that say Jesus is King, or some people have crosses. I can see a bunch of people with crosses on their T-shirts. They fear us. They fear this.
Who is they? Once again, who is they? This is an us versus them mentality, demonizing anybody who does not perfectly align with you ideologically. You know who they really is? It could mean a number of things. First and foremost, it's usually used to refer to the Jews. But if they're specifically not referring to the Jews, then it's anybody to the left of hunting the homeless for sport, generally, which would be anybody watching this video right now, probably. These people at the Reawaken America Tour are the furthest right of the furthest right. It doesn't get more extreme than these people, pretty much. So that's who they're talking about generally.
They fear us. They fear this Make America Great Again. They fear those that say America first. They fear God Almighty.
Well, I fear all the others except God Almighty. Most definitely, I do fear them because they're domestic terrorists. Absolutely.
And when we make noise, we got to make it comes from your spiritual gut. And we want people around this country to know that we are not giving up. God chose us. We chose God. This country is going to be just fine. But we have...
Wait, what did he just say? Let me step back, listen again. Hang on.
We're not giving up. God chose us. We chose God.
Okay, God chose us, we chose God. All right. Is this guy wearing a shirt with his name on it? Just General Flynn. As if somebody needed it to identify. Oh, hey, you're General Flynn. I know because your shirt says General Flynn. Okay, awesome. Hey, General Flynn. Why wear a shirt that says General Flynn? That'd be like me wearing a shirt that says Owen Morgan. That would be stupid.
This country is going to be just fine, but we have got to get involved. When Stella's up here, she is just sharing.
Okay, God. That's not where the crazy ends with old Michael Flynn, though. Mid-November 2021. This is from before. Another example of him at the Reawaken America tour. This guy just goes right off the rails with stuff. Check this out.
And they're talking about the United States of America. Talking about the United States of America, because when Matthew mentioned it in the Bible, he wasn't talking about the physical ground that he was on. He was talking about something in the distance. So if we are going to have one nation under God, which we must, we have to have one religion, one nation under God and one religion under God, right? All of us together, working together.
Yeah, that is pure, unadulterated Christian nationalism and extremism. This guy, and pretty much every organizer at the Reawaken America tour, and just about every audience member, have a vested interest in making the U.S. into a Christian extremist dictatorship. The people in this room have expressed an interest in installing Trump as a dictator and forcing America to be a Christian state. Deeply disturbing stuff, and they are out there as recently as a week ago holding these events in Pennsylvania, all across the country. Absolutely something else, and the ideas they espouse are bizarre. Well, let me know what you think about this. Let me know if I should cover more of this in the comments.